Very much. Good evening. We are called to order. We have a quorum. Could we have the roll call, please, Mr. Chief Deputy City Clerk?
Yes, Mayor. Mayor Sticks, remotely.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Whitman.
Here.
Councilmember Rule.
Here.
Councilmember Lang.
Here.
Councilmember Francina.
Here.
Thank you very much. And welcome everyone to the closed session special meeting of the Ojai City Council, September 10th, 2024. Anything to report out, Mr. City Attorney?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. 2 points to note. First off, we have the mayor participating remotely under AB 2449 regarding a just cause exception given a medical situation. We'll have a couple more comments on that as we get to open session, but the key is that the mayor's participation is authorized remotely under AB 2449. As for the closed session, we'll be meeting to consider one item related to a significant exposure to litigation against the city related to a known and disclosed transactional occurrence, the Cabin Village project, under Government Code Section 54956.9. I'll note there was a typo in the agenda, non-substantive, but worth disclosing. We cited to subdivisions D2 and E3. The citation should be to D2 and E2. However, the text is clear that, again, it's a significant exposure litigation related to a existing facts and circumstances known to potential plaintiffs regarding a transactional occurrence which was disclosed, the Cabin Village project. The council will meet in closed session regarding that matter, and no reportable action is expected. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, we will adjourn.
Mayor?
Maybe public comment, Madam Mayor.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mr. City Clerk, any public comment on this?
Yes, Mayor. We do have one in-house public comment on our notice agenda item 1 for this closed session. John Drucker.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Attorney John Drucker, and I'm here to prevent us from conducting an illegal closed session in violation of the Brown Act. The closed session agenda statement, like too many before it, is based on the Brown Act's requirement of existing facts and circumstances forming a significant threat of litigation. But Government Code Section E of that section, which the statement also cites, existing facts and circumstances shall consist only of one of the following. And previously you picked E3, but now I've informed that you picked E2, but it really doesn't make any difference, which provides facts for purposes of paragraphs 2 of the paragraph 2 and 3 of subdivision D. Existing facts and circumstances shall consist only of one of the following. And subdivision 2 says facts and circumstances including but not limited to an accident, disaster, incident, or transaction occurrence that might result in litigation against the agency and that are known to a potential plaintiff or plaintiffs, which facts or circumstances shall be publicly stated on the agenda or announced. Now, the case of Fowler versus City of Lafayette, with almost identical facts, holds that the city must post such written communications on its website. The city claimed it was enough that the document be shared at the clerk's office, but it was overruled by the Court of Appeals. Here, our city did neither. It did not identify the plaintiff who is supposedly threatening the litigation. It did not state the nature of the threat. It did not post it on the website. It did not carry it in the clerk's office. So Ojai's violation would be that much clearer. Accordingly, today's proposed closed session is illegal, a violation of the Brown Act. This after the city committed in writing to the Ventura District Attorney to not engage in any further Brown Act violations. The closed sessions are not an artifice to be used to discuss controversial topics in secret. I urge you to use the power that the Brown Act gives you as the ultimate authority to reject the city attorney's advice, discuss the matter, cancel the session, discuss the matter in open session where it belongs. The public has a right to know. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Is that it, Weston?
Mayor, let's extend this time to Zoom. We have 2 participants on Zoom. We'll give you the option to raise your hand for public comment now. No raised hands, Mayor. We'll move on.
Excellent. All right, we will go ahead and adjourn to close.
But how, wait, can you see my raised hand?
Yep.
Okay, so I would like to hear a response from our city attorney. And my recollection is last time something very similar came up. If the council did have a choice, it would mean that it would not be addressed tonight. It would be on a future agenda if we decided.
Right. So the council has a couple of options. Option one is to proceed with the closed session. It is lawful tonight. Mr. Drucker is incorrect, and I can explain why. Option two is continue the closed session to another meeting and agendize it without the typo E2, E3. Option three is have the discussion in public at a future meeting.
So it wouldn't, we can't do it tonight. Well, can you tell the public and myself and my colleagues why you believe that Attorney Drucker is mistaken?
Of course. The closed session allowance under subdivision E2 is for existing facts and circumstances that may result in litigation related to a transactional occurrence, which must be disclosed on the agenda. We have met that requirement by stating on the agenda, quote, the following facts and circumstances known to potential plaintiffs regarding a transactional occurrence, Cabin Village project. That's on the agenda. There is no requirement of the Brown Act to disclose the potential plaintiffs. Thus, we have not done so. The potential plaintiffs is anybody who's opposed to that project. We have not included any written threat of litigation because it does not exist, nor does it need to exist. The Fowler case is entirely irrelevant. In the Fowler case, the city, a different city of Lafayette, posted on their website, but not included in the agenda, the identity of a plaintiff who had filed a threat of litigation. That comes in under sub E3 when you have a item of threatened litigation or a claim or other written communication threatening litigation, in which case you have to disclose the nature, the name of the plaintiff, and make that written threat of litigation available to the public. We did not agendize this closed session under that exception, as is evident in the text. Thus, we need not, it doesn't exist and it doesn't need to be disclosed. So the Fowler case is irrelevant. This is a closed session regarding a known transactional occurrence known to potential plaintiffs. Anybody who's opposed to the Cabin Village project is a potential plaintiff. We heard several at the last meeting. We disclose that on the agenda, the Cabin Village project. Thus, the closed session is lawful if the council wants to meet tonight in closed session. Alternatively, we can agendize it for a future meeting, D2 and E2, or you could just have the discussion regarding the potential of litigation against the Cabin Village project in a future open session, which I would not recommend that.
May I ask
Of course, yeah.
So if we go forward with the closed session, which I think is the best, that does not prohibit us from having a similar or the same discussion in an open session, agendized open session.
If the council wants to, absolutely.
If the council majority
that would
thinks
be,
that's the best.
yeah,
so
we
there's
start
not
in
an
closed
appearance.
session.
Yeah.
We can always go in open session later.
Yeah. Okay.
And depending on what outcome from the closed session, there may be an open session by default.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
No, public comment is closed unless the
Okay.
council wishes to reopen it.
Well, I wish to reopen it because I do actually have some questions.
Okay, I'll second that.
I'll look to the
Okay.
mayor.
All right, well, let's have a roll call for that. There's a motion to continue. Can we have a roll call on that?
Mayor Pro Tem Whitman.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the motion.
The motion is to open back up closed session so that Attorney John Drucker can respond to the city attorney's interpretation of the Brown Act.
Public comment.
Public comment, what did I say?
Closed session.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yes, to reopen public comment so that Attorney John Drucker can respond to city attorney's interpretation of the Brown Act. That is the motion.
And you said you had a question.
I do. I mean, I do have questions, but, you know, I'm not an attorney.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
We have a motion and a second.
Yeah.
So Councilmember Whitman, are you ready for the roll call?
Yeah,
Roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Whitman.
no,
Councilmember Rule.
Yes.
Councilmember Lang.
No.
Councilmember Francina.
Yes.
Mayor Sticks.
No.
Motion fails, 3-2.
May I state why I said yes? Just because the public has, we have a reputation. We have so many closed sessions that it just gives this impression that we're doing something without, being transparent. So, anyway, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
So
And-
I do have comments to this. I feel like this is incredibly expansive by citing a transactional occurrence, and there is no party that has threatened, specific party that has threatened litigation, and to say that anyone who is against it could be a potential threat of litigation. I mean, that's a really, really wide open door that anyone can walk through. As is to say that all I need to do is say that there's a transactional occurrence. I don't need to state what the transactional occurrence is. From what I understand, you're saying is the transactional occurrence is there was someone who got up to the microphone and said, I disagree with, I don't want that to be there. Is that the transactional occurrence? I've had this problem before with your definition of transactional occurrence. My saying hi to you under this definition is a transactional occurrence. My saying, just about anything is a transactional occurrence, which, I understand is something that city attorneys appreciate, and I'm sure city managers appreciate it, and I'm sure city councils appreciate it. But I do feel like we're having a closed session every other or every council meeting. That's not appropriate. That really isn't appropriate. There can't be a call for that. I mean, it's a very narrow exception. I don't think there is significant threat of litigation until you actually have someone who has handed you a paper. We've gone through all of this before. And we've been docked on it. We have said that we will try for greater transparency, that we will try to do better, that we will raise the bar for ourselves. And yet we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're having a closed session. I think, I don't know, I can't even remember. Did we have one last time?
All right, thank you, Councilmember Rule.
Thank you, Mayor. But,
we have
I
a
would
vote, and,
appreciate my being able to hear the response from Attorney Summers to this. And also, it's very important that this note be made, that this is an expansive use of the Brown Act. And the Brown Act clearly says it is narrow exception. And so I take, gosh, come on. That's all I
Okay,
have to
thank
say.
you,
So now I will
Councilmember.
thank you, Mayor, for the time. I appreciate it.
Mr. Summers, any response before we adjourn?
The Brown Act requires that there be a transactional occurrence that has a significant exposure to litigation. The city's approval of the Cabin Village project site at the Lower Public Works Yard, as done at the last meeting, has a significant exposure to litigation, as a number, not just one, a number of folks expressed significant concern with that at that meeting, any one of whom could be a potential plaintiff. The Brown Act does not require that someone have threatened litigation to come in under E2. It only requires that there be a transactional occurrence that has a significant exposure to litigation. It is my professional advice to the council that this situation exists, and thus we can have a closed session. I defer to the council, of course, if to do so or not. I would note that there are many in this profession who would have agendized this item under E1 regarding facts and circumstances not known to potential plaintiffs. We have ceased using that closed session description per the council's discussion to be more transparent. We have achieved that. We have done so tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Summers. And just a reminder to the public that the closed sessions are normal protocol in all cities. So I think we're running out of time. So Councilmember Francine, I see your hand.
Just quickly,
Quick,
I
can I finish
okay.
my sentence for saying, let's
Yeah.
have a quick comment and then we need to adjourn.
Yeah.
We already have the vote.
I think
Councilmember Francina?
with the definition that I heard, potentially any site that we pick on that list has the potential, to result in litigation. We can say that about every site. It's just a fact that everybody is objecting to everything we've presented so far. So anyway, that's my comment.
And
Okay,
just
thank you,
in
Councilmember. Let's
closing,
adjourn.
thank you. I'm going to, if I could just say one more thing.
I'm going to
From
give
our
you a minute,
definition,
Councilmember, and
yeah,
we've got to
thank you.
go.
But yeah, we'll go into closed session. By our definition, anyone who wants to get up and ask about the stop signs and say you didn't have a study, and Councilmember Whitman, who's an attorney, said you may be violating the law. I mean, it's endless to how expansive this can be. And so once again, I feel incumbent upon for this council to note that the Brown Act is to be narrowly construed, not expansively construed. Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate you giving me the extra 2 minutes.
Thank you, Councilmember. All right, we will adjourn to closed session.